and we are going to hang out today on Got TLC and Chill. There's so much going on. I just went live testing out all of our equipment back in the sliver little piece of the studio that I was able to just test a few things out, experiment. So if you're joining today, make sure to subscribe and like. There's still so much work to be done, but just some positive news. We are okay. The tornado has subsided, and we're all in good spirits. I went live a lot today. I walked through different chores, different errands, different activities. We did a car ride. We took you to the store. Check those streams out. And I hope that you are taking a bit of inspiration and a little bit more hopeful in life. The previous stream, we had a lot of fun. Today is going to be a little bit of a chill session where we're just going to take it easy, take it slow, work through problems, reflect, and that's what God TLC and Chill is all about. I appreciate all of your support, all the support that you've provided me. I'm still working on that major project, and I mean, it had a huge potential for growth, and just something that I wanted to share with you all before moving forward. I did touch on a little bit on technology on God TLC and Chill, the very last episode, the one that will probably be released before this. It has a very cool graphic that we created from scratch, and check that one out. It will be a good one. I'm just checking here the exact title that I titled it so that you can find it in case you're interested. We got to play around with all of our professional equipment, and there we go. So it should be titled for you all: Success, Still Seeking God TLC Live, Chill, Reflect, Elevate. Very awesome podcast where, I went outside of my element again. I haven't streamed in that way for a long time, but very happy that we were able to get our hands on what used to be the studio, right? The studio before the flash flood, because that flash flood really affected us. But regardless, we're gonna keep on churning forward and take everything one step at a time, and that's what we can do. That's the only thing we can do best is make sure that you prioritize your self-care. Self-care is love, and that is something that regardless of what walk of life you come from, where you're from, you should always prioritize that, right? Because that equals a strong positive mindset. When you're able to, right, working out, imagine working out. Why do you work out? Do you work out for others? Do you work out for yourself? Do you work out for the gains? You work out to feel good, not about the show, right? It's about the health, the aspects of working out that will last a lifetime. Because if you do it for show, then there's always the possibility of it not meaning anything and then not being a lifestyle. Like when people say they're on a diet, that really is a term that is counterproductive because you should live a lifestyle of healthy. It shouldn't be a fad and it shouldn't be a gimmick. It should be something that you consistently work on. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hunger Games, Picture Edits. Welcome to the program today. We have a lot of people here joining. Numbers are increasing. Make sure to subscribe and like the stream. God Tender Love and Care. We are at God TLC and Chill. If you subscribe, you will be or may be one of the lucky subscribers that at 1,000 subscribers may win some awards, prizes, and gifts. And we are almost there. We're like right around the corner. I can't wait for that. Got the balloons, and everyone always contacts me for like the party stuff. And if they don't, I'm usually like, hey, can I do the party stuff? Like, can I get the party stuff? Like the balloons, the decorations. I have an eye for design, so I can't wait for that because I mean there may be confetti, balloons. It's gonna be very celebratory. A lot of good music. I might even get some of the instruments that we have here. Um, just a very good time. And if any of you are working right now, feel free to join me doing a little bit of a study session. And anytime I'm working on something, I like to give it my all. So my undivided attention. And right now, sort of operating as a night owl, but definitely an early riser as well. You really have to have a balance of being a night owl. If you're an entrepreneur and an early bird, right? And there's this expression, a very funny expression of early bird gets the worm. And I used to abide to that for the longest, right? And then one of my buddies made a joke about, yeah, but the second mouse gets the cheese. And I'm like, I had to think about that for a while. I was like, oh, they finally came up to a retort. They came up with a retort for early bird cat gets the worm, right? Because night owls will probably say, well, the second mouse gets the cheese. And it was just at the image of that was like, oh my goodness, really? But yeah, it's all about balance. When you're working, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're building yourself, your business, and working on many different projects, it's all about balance. That's why I said on a previous stream, and you can always check out the previous streams if I ever reference them, they're all saved on our page. I mentioned that organization is key if you're an entrepreneur, right? Balance, organization, because organization is sort of like, if you're not organized but you have good work ethic, you might get an A, you might get a B, but if you're organized and you got a B, that'll bring you up to a B plus or even an A minus. Now, if you got an A and then you become organized, that might even bring you up to an A plus. If some of you know what I'm talking about here with grades, so that's just something to think about. In that you become organized, well, you're gonna add that plus sign, the addition sign, to your record, and you want that. You want to build your skills, and this isn't about what this isn't got um, tech that builds wealth today, right? Got TLC and chill, but I always mention this on our podcast, and I touch on it a little bit here, but we're also going to prioritize what's important, and to define what's important, you really have to look within, right? Do any of you here on the chat know what eternal knowledge is? Let me know what you think eternal means, right? There's internal, which means inward. There's external, which means outside of you. But let me know what you think eternal means. And when you figure out what eternal means, you know, you may be mind blown. It's a term that it's like, well, I thought there was only inside internal and outside external. Well, there are levels, there are different realms of reality, and I want you to look into eternal. That is a very real term with very important implications. Eternal. Now, I can define it for you. I also want you to go out there and dig for the information, because I want to know where you found your information, your sources. Again, God Tender Loving Care is a channel by the people for the people, and if I ever share something, it'll be accessible, or I'll do my best to make sure it's accessible. Some of you have resources that will help others, that could go a long way. That's what we're all about here, making the world a better place, one step at a time. And organization is just part and parcel with becoming your higher self. So that is just a little tidbit on what I wanted to say about that. What's up? Well, thank you, Picture Edits, for asking what's up. Yeah, a lot of stuff is up. A lot of stuff. The comedic answer is the ceiling or the sky. The more in depth is, well, there are a lot of stuff going on, but everything's good, right? Everything is working out, panning out, and regardless of what obstacle you're going through, just make sure that you are always in your zone. Make sure that no one ever takes your peace away, right? It's easy to lose your cool, and what we learn in Nichiren Buddhism is that you control your emotions, and if you ever say, no, they made me do it, well, that's not what we want from you. We want you to be a master of your feelings and emotions. So many of you from many different walks of life, tell me, how do you cope with that part of reality? Do you think you're in control, or do you think someone else is in control, or maybe a balance of both? How How do you operate and walk, to and fro? Right? So this is just a little conversation here on God TLC and Chill. Just wanted to touch base with you all, both officially, like we did on our previous stream, and here on our channel. If you found value in today's just a little chit chat here on God TLC and Chill, let me know. Subscribe. I will talk to you all later. Peace.